Hey guys, it's ArchieLuxury. ArchieLuxury from the ArchieLuxury channel, the Paul Pluta channel, and ArchieLuxury Corporate. Guys, keep watching. Keep watching. I need the viewers. I need the viewers. I need the subs. I need it. Like, subscribe, and tell your friends. Tell your friends, whether you like them or hate them. Just tell them anyhow. ArchieLuxury on YouTube. Hey guys, you're on the ArchieLuxury channel. And I gotta tell you, it has been very, very tough. COVID-19, travel restrictions, the whole world has entered into madness. And today I want to remember the fun times with my good friend, Mr. Sukahorn. How
G'day,
are
Archie,
you?
mate. G'day,
How
Archie,
are
mate.
you?
How are you, bro? How are you?
Not
What's
so
happening?
well, not so good.
No?
I gotta tell you, John, I've been really depressed. And, you know, for me, being in the Asia Pacific region, if things got out of hand, I'd jump on a plane and you'd go somewhere in Asia for a couple days, a week. And we're in this COVID situation. John, what the hell has happened? The world has gone nuts.
The world has gone nuts. I noticed actually in Great Britain, there's a couple of YouTube streams I follow that come up on the weekend, and they were all a little bit jumpy and twitchy after a week of lockdown in the United Kingdom. They were all very trigger happy and a little bit uptight, but it's sort of not natural being locked up and and have certain freedoms removed from life. Never did I think in my age, as a kid, that I'd live in a society where I wasn't allowed to travel more than 5 kilometres from my front door, and the only reason I can go out of the house is to go and get food or go to the doctor. Otherwise, life being all too well, but it hasn't affected me that much really. I don't go out that much, but for some, it's really. I've got a couple of mates who are really hurt, over it, not being able to travel and not being able to go out and go out for lunch every day. Didn't go to a restaurant for over 112 days. Me.
I gotta tell you, John, I'm finding it tough myself. I mean, my circumstances. I've got adult children who are a bit problematic. I've got, relationship problems, and I've got...
Had a couple of them every time. Some are too expensive.
Be able to get away. To tell you, I actually was making a video on this very channel, and I was just saying how anxious and depressed I was feeling. And then I made this video, what would I do if I could do anything? And you know what it is, John? I would love to jump on a plane and go away from Australia. As much as I love Australia, there's nothing like the travel. And I said this to somebody, there's nothing greater than when you land Bangkok International Suvarnabhumi Airport. Suvarnabhumi.
Yeah, we know what you're talking about. Bangkok Airport. Yeah.
And you've landed there. They've opened the door, and the humidity hits you as you walk in through that air bridge, or it's and I remember landing. I'd usually take a 2 o'clock flight from Brisbane, and I'd land 8 o'clock Bangkok time, 8:10.
Just the time to go out. Perfect.
You go through customs. As soon as you cleared customs, straight down to a taxi. Taxis are very, very reasonable. And you'd have the night to yourself. And
I didn't know. You went straight off the plane and back to the room, were you? Back to the room and then...
Well, actually, I've even done it where I've pulled in, picked up a girl, and then gone to the room.
Yeah, I've I never used to go to the room first. That was a good couple of hours waste of your time. You know, like if you find a room anywhere in Bangkok, you find a room in 5 minutes in Bangkok. That's no problem. Just, you know, walk up to
Yes.
a desk with a, you know, your overnight bag and your passport, and you're in, aren't you? You know, can I book a room, please? Me on my car. You know, ask me if we've got a room. Yes. And you walk, pay the money over the counter you're in, and you just walk outside, pull the sheeler in. Is there a bar fine for the room? Is there any extra fee to bring the girl to the room? Oh, no, just take her up, sir. Yeah, no worries. You know, but times have changed. Times have changed. That's for sure.
What
That's
do
for
you
sure.
think yourself, John? Are we ever going to go back to normal, that times in the past? Is that ever going to come back again, or is that well and what's your opinion?
Oh, we've got our mutual friend in the West Wing. You know, I often speak to, and he was informing me the other day that he was speaking to someone, you know, very high up the ranks at Perth Airport, and he was advised there'll be no international travel out of Perth until 2023, which is at least another 2 years away, isn't it? So,
Yes.
you know, don't sort of think about booking any flights in the next 6 months. I suggest until there is a vaccine. You know, I think every country in the world is going to be restrictive on who and who doesn't come to their country. You know, Thailand, for an example, you know, you've got to jump through that many hoops, you know, to get in at the moment. You know, like you've got a Thai wife, you could get in. You know, as long as you had the
Yes.
appropriate insurance, and you've been cleared, you know, with COVID tests 48 hours prior to departure. You know, then you arrive and you're put through the hoops again. You still got to go into quarantine. You go into quarantine for 14 days. You know, and then you're on the 11th day, I think you're tested again, and if you're free, you're right to leave quarantine. But in some places, you're restricted. No, up until
But
recently, you're
John,
restricted.
the problem is here. I don't know about you, but when you've got a quarantine for 14 days at one end, John, that's the end of it. 95% of people don't have the luxury of that much time to to tie up. You understand?
When this COVID situation first arrived and international travel was stopped in Australia, I was discussing it with my wife. And she
Yes.
said, who is going to go to Thailand now? Who's going to go there
Yes.
and go into quarantine for 2 weeks, even if you are a Thai national? No, you're not going to go into
It's very
quarantine.
hard. Like a lot of Americans, they get 2 weeks off a year, yet
That's
alone
right.
quarantining for 2 weeks. You know,
Yes.
to actually have the ability to take time like that off. That's pretty hard. You know, a lot of people, they're not getting much time to do this.
Well,
Um,
a 2 week
do
holiday,
you,
is quite a substantial time. Say for a single bloke to go to Thailand, you go for a couple of weeks, go have a real fun holiday. But if you're just going to be in uh, a hotel room for 14 days, whereabouts is that one? The
okay,
boss. Where's that?
okay. This is on Sukhumvit Road, Nana, corner of Sukhumvit Road and Nana.
Well, you've taken from, so you, yeah, right. So you've
So
taken the
you
photo from 43. You're in,
yes.
you're taking the,
So
the,
you're in Sukhumvit Road. So this is you've just walked out the Landmark Hotel. You know the
yeah,
Majestic is on the corner here. This is the police little hub there. That's the if you kept walking, there'd be that 7-Eleven petrol station.
yes, yes,
This
yes.
is just getting into Nana. We're just empty, empty, empty. Look at that. It's
Dead as a
just
doornail. Very, very quiet indeed. Very
well.
quiet.
That's because you don't have foreigners landing. Do you understand? The planes are not coming with foreigners in them. you understand that, don't you?
I've been told on very good authority, a bloke who lives in Pattaya, he said Monday to Friday in Pattaya, it's dead as a doornail. It's like a ghost town. Come the weekend, he said you can't move on the beach. You know, all the ties are coming
Yes,
down. You know, all the ties are coming down for a little bit of a, you know, a weekend with the family on the beach, you know, and having a nice time
yes.
with their family. But I doubt, you know, if too many of the bars are being frequented. You know, that's for sure.
Here's another photo. This is in that's Nana Plaza. Look down.
It's an aerial view, isn't it?
Yeah,
That's deserted.
yeah. So, John, I've got to tell you, it's very lean at the moment. There, it's Thailand itself. There, I think they're starting to realise that the tourist is very much a big part of their economy. And Marbin Kong is empty. You know, the big shopping centre,
Yes, yes.
Marbin Kong.
Remember
And
in your day, you know,
mm,
Marble Pong was the place to go, wasn't it? For both Thais and the foreigners, you know, alike. That was
yeah,
sort
it
of, you
was
know, one of
very cosmopolitan. You know, like Marbin Kong was never the most prestigious. It was like a, you know, it was kind of like, you know, it wasn't your super luxury type shopping centers. You know, it's funny when I was in Thailand. So I went there in 2002. I think they'd only just opening up Emporium. That was fairly new. Emporium. They had a few. They had Central Shitlom, but you know all those gay sawn. That wasn't built yet.
no,
Siloam Square was very popular. You know, CM Square. CM Square. You know,
yes, yes,
you had the Hard Rock was in that area. That was seemed to be a very popular up and coming area. And I've got to tell you, John, um, I really miss it. I really miss it. I was just saying to somebody with all this COVID stuff, if I didn't have family, children, and you know commitments, where would I like to live in the world? Yeah, Hong Kong and Singapore are fantastic, but they're ridiculously expensive. Okay, to
it
rent a
wouldn't be much
place.
fun in Hong Kong at the moment, would it?
No, no, not on the political scene. I mean, even in Thailand, with the politics being a little bit, I still think it's you know you just as a foreigner, I never got involved in this stuff. I just stayed to myself. Politics wasn't my was never really my. I can't change the world. I'm just interested in savoring some memories, and I got to tell you, I miss it. I really do miss it. I've got so many good memories of Thailand. I think I would do things differently if I was to go there again. I would do things very differently to how I did them in the past. Um, I'd probably have a little studio. I'd like to have a little studio. Probably, you know, soy up near Emporium, somewhere there, maybe. You know, I would to, you know, I even like your stomping ground is at Pat Pong. That's near Silom. That's a very nice area as well. There, that's a very nice area indeed.
You know where when I caught you last time in Bangkok, and you know, I
Yes,
was staying in that room up in Satorn Road. Um,
yes.
I'd live there any day of the week nowadays,
That's
and
a nice spot. I spot
what
that. That's a beautiful spot.
you see, you know, with you know, traveling with the wife, my little boy, you know, like you know, that's sort of you know, it's right across the road from you know, Lumpini Park. You know, so it's a little bit more, a little less, you know, in your face as far as what Bangkok has to offer around, you know, as compared to some parts of Ceylon Road or certainly
Oh,
Sukhumvit Road.
Look,
You know,
I
like
got to be totally honest with you. I lived in Sukhumvit, Soy Nana, right?
yes, for years.
I'd never live there again. It's a dump. Okay, between you and me, that place is a dump. Okay,
It's always been a dump. It's always
okay. I
been a
mean,
dump.
it's
Well,
when you've
better
stayed in other
accommodation
places. Mm,
better accommodation in Bangkok than Soy Nana, that's for sure. That's for
yeah, there's
sure.
a lot better accommodation. Um,
But it's very convenient. No taxi fares.
yes, yes, it is. It's I got to tell you, see, the big problem in Bangkok is the way the roads are built. You coming from, for example, if you're in Silom, right, it's very hard to get to Sukhumvit easily. Traffic can
It's
be a
sort of like,
monster.
it depends where you want to come in. You've got to do sort of like almost like a big U-turn. Well, it's not that, it's only
Yeah,
10, 15 minutes away, but it's nowadays with the BTS, the overhead rail system in Bangkok. That's made a
it's
massive
very
difference.
hard to get on that. That system is getting busier and busier. I last time I was in Thailand, that system is they they've
I've been on it
extended the
once.
line.
Paul. I've been on it
Sorry.
once. It was not. It was, I've been on it once. It was the last trip I went to Thailand. I met up with about half a dozen blokes, and most of us were vloggers, about Thailand. We all had channels on YouTube. And we all caught up,
Yes.
and it was a very nice night with them. But that night we all met up at a restaurant, and then we sort of move on. And I said, "Oh, we'll all jump in a taxi." And they said, "Oh no, we'll just walk down the street here, and we'll catch the BTS." Yeah. So anyway, we can up to that, go for a walk in the heat of the night,
It's
instead of
awful.
just jumping in. Anyway, we're at the BTS, and anyway, a couple of minutes later, the train comes. And we're all on it. Well, it was full as full could get. It was chock a block. One, because it's heavily frequented, but on these days, the transport was free because I think there was the King's coronation, very soon after that, and they had free accommodation on the BTS, and you couldn't move. And I said to my mate, I said, this is the first time I've been on the BTS, and I'll tell you what, it's going to be my last. I'm never going to get on it again.
They've
Like,
also underground too. You know that?
pardon me?
They've got an underground as well. There's the BTS, that's the SkyTrain. Then they've also got the underground subways as well.
The Metropolitan Rail System, it goes all over, joining circles up and down. Parts of it, I don't know if it's underground. I don't know too many, stations are underground, but, it's a lot more accessible and easy to get around, and it's, made a massive difference. Imagine the traffic if they didn't have the BTS and they didn't have the overhead rail system. It's going to be a nightmare. You'd never move. You'd never move.
Tell me this, John.
Yeah.
As far as it does go there, it's Thailand is doing it very tough.
Yes, because so much of their economy is dependent on tourism. Without tourism, well, ouch. Like we're feeling it
They've
here in Australia too. Like there's many, tourist enterprises in Australia which are, are going to, slip down the hole, aren't they? It's only recently in Victoria we're up for travel, and overnight we've seen, South Australia's been declared a hotspot. You're not allowed to travel to, South Australia. You're not allowed to travel into South Australia anymore. Like they've had a new outbreak in South Australia. Hope that works out for them.
yeah,
But
it's a very
until there is a
trouble.
vaccine, and there's not going to be any light at the end of the tunnel because of this disease. Now, unless every country in the world does something like Victoria did. We're lucky we've had donuts, what they call donuts down here. Zero cases and zero deaths, for 18 days after a 120-day lockdown. At the time we locked down in Victoria, there were similar countries in the world suffering the same circumstances as Melbourne. We were having 750, new cases a day. We locked down. All right, we seem to have eradicated it so far in Victoria. You look at France, and I think it was Germany at the same time, they had a similar amount of cases per day as what we did in Melbourne, in Victoria. Well, they're off to, they're talking about locking down again now. Their numbers are off, are off the books. So they're really getting a massive second wave of it.
Yes. Tell me this, John. Do you think cheap travel is over? What's your outlook?
Oh yeah, well I don't
What's
think
your outlook, John?
You won't be getting any cheap flights on Thai International. That's for floor out of that's for sure. Out of Melbourne.
I don't even know if Thai International will still be there. They're looking very bleak. The financial position of them is. They're even selling the cutlery off, John.
Yeah. How much was it for a cup or something?
It was quite expensive. I thought I didn't see it was being valued. Do people? And the thing is, you can't really use this in your house because it's aeroplane size serves. They're kind of.
Yes. What would you pay for one? You could knock one off a plate. I
don't even know if I'd want one. I don't even know if I'd want one.
Why would you? Like they're only nice if you want a little short black coffee, I suppose, but they don't even come with a saucer. No?
They wanted 500 baht, and it was ridiculous. But I got to tell you, John, do you think this is the end of international travel, or as we have seen it before?
No, it's not the internet. No, it's just a little bit of a hiccup. International travel will come back bigger and better than what it ever has been. Once there's a vaccine and people are willing to comply to various countries, regulations about getting in. I think, quarantine restrictions will be lifted in most countries once there's a vaccine and you can prove you've got a clear bill of health and appropriate insurance. Why would any country deny entry? But that's a long time away, I reckon. Now that's not going to happen for at least 12 months, at least. But what would I know? I'm only guessing like everyone else.
Yes.
You like to do? Who's that little bloke who's the managing director of Qantas?
Alan Joyce.
Yeah, he'd be having his boyfriend of a night time in bed, wouldn't he? So, what are we going to do? He'd have a little bit of pillow talk with his boyfriend. What are we going to do?
It's pretty damn hard, John. I got to be honest with you. It's very, very hard, and I'm concerned myself. I've got to be honest with you. I am very worried myself. I don't know what to say, John. It's a disaster. It's a disaster, and that's basically it. It's very hard, but the thing is, John, you've got to stay positive, and I myself, I got to tell you, I would just. The problem is, even if I was in Bangkok now, say you snapped your fingers, I'm in Bangkok. A lot of it is closed. Like it's empty. It's a ghost town. What are you going to do there? Okay, so say.
Business is still happening in Bangkok for the Thais, as it normally is. They're still conducting their normal, their normal existence in Thailand. There's not many, there's not hundreds of businesses. I doubt whether there's too many vacant shops or closed shops in Circumvent Road. Or I hope that's tourists will come. The Thais will wait all day for a customer. But there's no tourists coming. I imagine so many of the places are open for business. But there's no tourists. I watch occasionally a couple of live streams about Koh Samui.
Yes.
Koh Samui live streams, and you can sit there and you won't see a car even go down the road. In some of the tourist places down there. You know, like be on for an hour or something. I wonder if you can't come on the road. Like there's quite a large bar in there, you know, Tropical Murphy's. You know, got a very famous name, been there for years. It's deserted. You know, it's open, but there's no one there. No tourists in the joint. You know, and same applies to Pattaya. You know, there's no Western tourists. Well, the Thai economy is its dependence it's put on tourism, which we're all very conscious of. You know, like they know when a Farang's walking down the street or when the tourists are coming. Well, they're not there. You know, so there's many businesses that are battling, but no different to our country. You know, there's plenty of businesses that are battling here at the moment.
Yes, I think you're right there.
These rolls. I went down to, took my missus shopping quickly this morning. There's a little Vietnamese joint, opened up. And I said, oh, I'll go and have a Vietnamese roll. Bring that home and have that for breakfast. I said, oh, can I have a roast pork roll, please, dear? She said, we haven't got any. I said, the rolls are there. Yeah. So I know they're yesterday's. They're just for a look. Can you come back in 10 minutes and we'll go and get some fresh bread? And I said, nah, see ya. Well, I won't go back there again. I just won't do it. And I know the owner too. I know the owner of the joint because she's got another restaurant, in the next suburb across, and she just opened up this one. And I tell her I'm not too happy. I went in to get a pork roll at 10:30 in the morning. They didn't have fresh bread. She'll be more than impressed. She'll be wrapped. But I won't go there again. I'll travel 4 or 5 kilometres up the road, and go and get me Vietnamese rolls there.
What's the updates? You've got contacts there. You're on many of the forums. Bangkok is very quiet.
Yes, I did read the other day that they have new visas. You can get a 60-day visa, which can be extended, for another. You get a 90-day visa, and then you can extend that twice for another 90 days. Yes. And that costs 2,000 baht. But what an SDV visa, I forget the actual classification of the visa, but for 2,000 baht, you can essentially stay for 9 months. In Thailand, you can extend your visa twice. But I also heard that as an additive to that visa, you've got to have 400,000 baht in the bank 6 months prior for you to travel. A minimum 400,000 baht, which is a lot of money. Oh, it's 16,000 American. I think it's about 20 grand Australian, 21 or 22 Australian or something. Just to have sitting in the bank, in your bank balance. Otherwise, and you've got to produce that to your local embassy. That's an article I read in the Bangkok Post and a couple of ancillary newspapers. One was Bangkok Jack. He wrote an article on it. Yeah. And I don't know how much this is going to help tourism. With the average bloke, if they want to spend a few months there, you have to have 16 grand in the bank, before they travel. It may not affect me.
Ooh, the problem is, John, there is no flights. You can't.
Yeah, well, good point. It doesn't matter if you wanted it. There's still no flights there.
Yeah, you know what I mean. It's a very, very tricky thing there. It's I don't know what to say, John. It's pretty hard there. I'm just having a look there now. I'm just having a look at Webjet, right? So at the moment, listen to this, John. If you want to go from Brisbane to Bangkok, right? A ticket is $4,000 on Friday.
Webjet?
2.5. Webjet just gives you all the different. It gives you all the different travel options, all the different tickets that are available. Okay, so tickets $5,000 on the 28th of December. Okay. This is just absolutely. This is to go from Brisbane to Bangkok.
Is that return?
In January, there's only a handful of flights, right? John, I've got to be okay. In March, the tickets are now okay. There's a $1,300 return ticket in March. So let's just say we went there for a week. Okay, let's just have a look. March 4th to the March 11th, one adult, Bangkok economy return. Let me just tell you.
Who's that flying with?
Okay, oh, I will tell you exactly. I will tell you exactly there. Okay, there's a Singapore Airlines flight, right? Which leaves that's going through Singapore, okay? And
It's not a direct
that
flight, it's a stopover.
no, it's going through Singapore.
Cool.
There is a Thai flight. Guess how much a Thai flight is, John?
Or 1800.
7,500. It's
You're kidding me, aren't you?
ridiculous.
What's that first one?
Because it's they've only got certain flights they're doing. It depends on the so okay, British Airways has got some cheap flights, okay? They've got flights from there's a $653, okay? And returning that's only one way, right? Then returning, they've got a returning flight. John, it's absolutely crazy. These tickets here, no cheapy tickets. Normally is about $800 return, right?
Yeah, you get cheaper than that
Tickets
even. But you wouldn't want to be jumping on a plane
crazy.
anyway, would you? You know, like you wouldn't want to be, too keen to jump on a plane anyway. Like they've all been sitting around on a tarmac or somewhere, or in the middle of the
Mm,
Arizona
mm.
desert for the last
So,
6 months.
so the
You know,
interesting thing is, if you look at these tickets here, there's nothing. If you wanted to go tomorrow, it's going to be $5,000, $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. Cheap tickets, they haven't rebooted. The whole thing has not rebooted.
yeah,
And I've got to be honest with you, John.
Queensland's
It's
looking real good for me. You know?
see that's not really an answer, and you've got to have visas and all sorts of. So let's have a look, John. Let's have a look. Say from Melbourne to Bangkok, right? We
Yeah.
want to go Melbourne to Bangkok. Now, okay. The problem is, are you allowed to leave on these dates? So say we said okay, we want to leave. Say we want to see there's so few flights. Okay, we could go on the 21st, the 8th of January. Okay, 8th, and we come back say the 15th. Okay, so that's a week there, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Let me have a look what comes up here in the search. So from Melbourne to Bangkok, there's limited. Do you know how many flights there is, John? You've got a Singapore Airlines flight. There's a Garuda,
Oh,
and there's a Cathay. The tickets
oh,
on
oh.
Cathay are $4,300.
Is that via Hong Kong?
4,000. Now that
You go
Melbourne, Sydney, then Sydney, Hong Kong.
and Hong Kong,
Okay.
Bangkok.
No,
Oh, it'd take you 2 days to get there.
yeah, it's 36-hour flight and it's $4,000. Do you understand?
I'm not going. I'm not going.
Okay. Then you said there's the Singapore Airlines. Okay. There are only 3 flights in that day to go to Bangkok. There is a cheap $900 ticket,
Who's
right?
that flying with?
That's with
Pathetic start.
Singapore,
Right.
and then the returning flight. Now let me just tell you what you're looking at here.
You won't get
Just
back
hang
in.
on. Well, that is the problem, John. Okay, so the ticket itself there, right? When I said it's $900, that's one way. $950 one way. So you want to come back, it's another 900, right?
I'm having a drink.
So the total return is 1953.
No, thanks. I can take my whole family there for that.
Well, John, this is the new normal. Do you understand? This
All in the old days.
John,
Yeah,
there are
new
only
normal.
3 flights. There's nothing. Do you see what I'm saying?
There's nothing
And
there.
it
Yeah, I
says
know.
many
But the problem
destinations
is,
have border restrictions and entry requirements. We
Yeah.
strongly advise researching local and international guidelines. Okay, they're not even accepting people in there. Do you understand that? It's a disaster. It's an absolute. So even if you wanted to jump on a plane,
you're not going to get
how
back
would
into
you
Australia
go?
anyway.
Sorry?
You're not going to get back into Australia anyway. Australia's got quotas. At the
You want
moment,
to fly
how many people can come
Garuda?
in? Hey?
Garuda, you know what, a return ticket with Garuda, which I don't
Oh,
mind. That's the Indonesian airline, right?
oh, yeah, I know it's.
Guess
I
what
know
that
it's.
costs? $6,129 to
They're
fly.
dreaming. They're dreaming.
John, that's what it costs. Do you understand?
Yeah, well, I won't be getting my money. I'm patient. I can wait.
Look at that. It's $6,129. You want to fly to Bangkok. John, you see what I mean? There are not even the cheap flights in the system. Right?
Queensland's looking real good at the moment, I'd suggest, Arch. Looking real good indeed.
I tell you what, Jono, let's just have a quick look there. I'm just going to call up my Agoda. Let's hypothetically say we made it to Thailand, okay? Just hypothetically say we made it into Thailand, okay? Okay? Just hypothetically. So let's make a booking. Let's make a booking. So this here is from the 8th to the 15th. Okay, this is just from the 8th to the 15th. Just hypothetically. Let's just have a look. Let's have a look. What's some bargains in Bangkok? Let's have a look there. Accommodation. How much are we looking at for a room? Okay.
$50 a night in a 4-star hotel, they are.
Yeah, the prices have come
That room,
down.
that room I had in Bangkok, I was paying $100 a night there. You get that same room in March, I think, for $50, half price, $50 a night.
Here we go, the Fumera X. That's the hotel I used to stay at. $38 a night Aussie.
How much?
$38 a night Aussie.
It's a third of the price.
I gotta tell you, it's amazing. It's an absolutely amazing.
Nice and bloody depressing. I can tell you that. We had enough of this. I'm depressed enough. Please. Like Thailand's off. Looks like Thailand's off the books for a while.
Well, it is off the books, but you understand what I'm saying, John. This is the situation. You know what I mean. This is the new normal. This is the
new COVID normal. The new COVID normal. Grass.
Yes.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Thank you, China.
Yeah. Thank you, China.
Yeah, but
let's call it a day, Arch. We'll do another one of these again soon, mate.
Yeah. Okay, John. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure, and we will catch up in the next one. Stay safe, and those memories you've got there, that may be the only way you can safely travel at the moment.
Indeed.
Hey guys, Archie Luxury. Who do I recommend for watches in Brisbane and Sydney? Vintage Watch Co. That's correct. Vintage Watch Co. in Brisbane Arcade in Brisbane and the Strand Arcade in Sydney. Vintage Watch Co. Brisbane and Sydney. Ronnie, I've known him since the late 90s. Ronnie is a top bloke. Luke is a great guy. Vintage Watch Co. That is who I recommend in Australia. Check out Vintage Watch Co. and the guys' amazing range of watches. They also do service and repairs. Vintage Watch Co. That is where the Pontiff goes. You know, some of my Pateks came from Vintage Watch Co. That's right, guys. Vintage Watch Co. Hi guys, Archie Luxury, and who do I recommend in America? In America, who do I recommend for quality pre-owned wristwatches? David SW, David SW, David SW. Go to davidsw.com. He is the best, the greatest pre-owned dealer in all of the United States of America. David SW, David SW, David SW.